This is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, doing a job out in Simi Valley. Today's Monday, August 18th, 2014. And I want to show you how to shut off the utilities. First thing we'll look at is the main electrical panel. And they put this in the rear of the house. And it's made by this infamous company called Zinsco. So when we see these today, we recommend you replace them or upgrade the panels. It's an older type of panel, and sometimes the breakers, the springs and breakers are soft, and they trip when they should, and they trip when they should not. And there's a manufacturing defect in the panel itself. So that's your main panel. That's shut off the power. It's where is it? They have no main shutoff, so it's when you have more than 6 breakers, you should have a main disconnect, and you don't have one here. Very interesting. The next thing we'll look at is the gas, and that's going to be on your right exterior of the house. And they have a gas meter here, and it does have a seismic gas shutoff valve. It's not required up here, but there is one. And the way they work on a 5.4 earthquake, they will automatically shut off. So you go right back to sleep if the earthquake's in the middle of the night. On the side here you have a valve, and the tang's up and down, it's on. And when you turn it 90 degrees either way, it's off. So you need a wrench for this. So to shut that off. And in the front of the house is your water. We'll look at that next. So in front of the house you have a plastic pipe coming up from the street, it's a 1 inch. And here you have this valve here, bring it on down. That will shut off the water to the house. And later on we'll put a pressure test on the system and see how much pressure you have. And the hose bib here is missing what we call an anti-siphon device. It's a $4 device, and it keeps the dirty water from a hose from being sucked back into the house water. While we're here, the garage is, we just finished inspecting the garage. There's a water heater here, missing blocking between the water heater and the wall. And we'd like to see a sediment trap here on the gas line, so it's where any dirt in the gas line will fall into it. And it's on a raised platform, so we like to see a drip pan underneath the water heater. And then this is a 1994, so that's a 20-year water heater. And typically they last only 10, 12 years, so this is on borrowed time. So hopefully during escrow it will go out, so you get a newer water heater. A couple other things, they still have the old asbestos transite pipe for a vent. Manufacturers don't like to see these anymore, and they want to see a metal vent line all the way through the roof. So that'll be on the report too. As we're in the garage, there are outlets in the garage. We like to see ground fault interrupters, which you don't have. And the garage door did auto reverse, as it should. You have one handle here, and you're missing another handle here. So when the power goes out, you can manually open it without getting your fingers caught in the gaps. And also there's a cord or rope here on the automatic release. That's what they have a handle on it. So they want to see where you can immediately grab hold of in case of emergency and use that. So a couple other things. There's a extension cord feeding the providing power to your sprinkler or irrigation, and we'd like to see something more permanent. Extension cords are only good for 90 days, so that needs a more permanent receptacle in this area here. So the next thing we're going to do is climb the ladder and look at the roof and say hi to the termite guy today. He's famous. He's from San Fernando. So you have a composition roof here, and I have no history of or knowledge of the age or how long it's been here. The way we do, we try to pick up an edge. If it's the more rigid it is, the older it is. And I noticed some minor deterioration on the edges. So it looks like it may be 6, 7 years old. And maybe I can get some more information later on from the agents. And on the so it looks like the second layer, and around your vents, we call these vent penetrations, we like to see metal flashing right here. So the second layer covered the flashing, and at the very top of the roof, we call this the ridge caps, and you're starting to get minor deterioration here. So it's probably going to be around 6, 8 years old, and when you get to 8 to 10 years, you start getting the deteriorated cap sheets, and you just replace the very top of the roof. The cap sheets there, it's usually about $600 to $800 for that. Then you can get another 10 years or so out of your roof. And there's a junction box up here, most likely for your old swamp cooler. And you have a masonry fireplace. And they relocated your service cable. The original one was the power cable went over the pool, so they moved it off to the left side of the house. I'm standing in front of the chimney, and you can see a crack here. They do have a chimney spark arrestor, which we like to see. And this part of the roof, the rear of the house, there's a pop out, and that's a 90 weight roof. It actually looks in pretty good shape. This conduit here, we like to see it raised up, and so if you raise it up, then the debris doesn't hang behind it, or doesn't act as a dam. So that should be raised up, and that'll be in the report. And you have this tree over the roof, so it's getting a lot of the debris, the leaves on the roof itself. On the rear left of the house, there is one gutter. It's the only one I've seen, and that's full of debris. And your patio roof is looks like a fiberglass roof, and you want to clean the leaves off this so they don't act as a dam for when it rains. And rain in California is like something we never see or hear about. But you can see where it could act. It would dam up the drainage of your roof here. And there is a pool fence around the pool, which we like to see. And we'll walk to the left side of the house and check out this area here. You have a vent here, so this must be your furnace vent. And that's what you have. I haven't been able to get in the house yet. The agent has arrived. But again, we talked about a couple of things. You have an older panel, and the roof is probably about 6 to 8 years old. And that's what you have. Again, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections. And I can be reached at 818-271-0417, or on the web, www.ehomeinspector.com.